covering the entire Piedmont-Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 5.
And right now on WXII 12 News at 5 o'clock, Old Man Winter strikes again. I am Cameron Kent live in Greensboro where the snow continues to fall and so do the temperatures. Unofficially 19 degrees out here right now. Interstate 40 behind me in Greensboro moving along nicely. A different story though in Winston-Salem where Business 40 and the section of Highway 52 that connects Business 40 to Interstate 40 is a parking lot right now. Both those clover leaves all jammed up, so if you know somebody who's heading that direction, give them a call and tell them to find an alternate route. This latest forecast shows that the snow is going to continue to fall and we are going to be dealing with some brutally cold temperatures out there. Accumulations in some parts of the Carolinas that they haven't seen in years and years. Many, as you already know, are already seeing that snow blanketing the Piedmont-Triad, and we are going to give you up-to-the-minute coverage on all of that. We have a team of journalists and photojournalists who are scattered all over the Piedmont-Triad for you tonight to bring you live coverage of this winter weather event. We're going to hear from them in just a moment, but first, we're going to send it back to the studio with Wanda Stark and our Chief Meteorologist, Laney Pope, for an update on the latest forecast.
Thanks, Cam. And so, Laney, the question right now is, what are you seeing right now?
Well, we still have snow coming down. Many areas seeing snow, some with already 1 to 2 inches on the ground in our foothill communities from Mount Airy back through Wilkes County. Now, the heaviest snows in the Triad have yet to start, folks. We're looking for a window of about 5 p.m. to maybe as late as 9 p.m. of some moderate to heavy snows. You see that axis I talked about yesterday of snow, that banding of snow that is working its way right up 85 from Greenville, Spartanburg. Also, the transition is starting to take place from sleet to snow down east, and they are set for a major winter storm with very high snowfall totals. Our 1 hour loop shows you the light to moderate snow, and this is a very dry snow out there. What it will do is it'll sort of fly around, but it will stack up pretty high. That snow ratio with less moisture enables higher totals when it does land on the ground. Super Doppler 12 radar showing you snow from Mount Airy to Danbury to Walnut Cove, where it's a little bit heavier, Yadkinville, all along 421, Winston-Salem, and now even with some snowflakes flying in Lexington, although a lot of that just not quite stacking up just yet. But we're going to get there because the heavier snows for Randolph and Alamance County have yet to take place. Going to be on that back edge as that area of low pressure moves away. On average, notice the winter weather advisory is shifted west. We talked about that yesterday, depending on the track of the low. 1 inch easy, I think, across the Triad. Some folks could see 2 to 3 inches, and the farther south and east you are could see closer to 4 inches. That would be places like Alamance County as well as Randolph County. Now, the timing is mainly this afternoon, and then I mentioned that window this evening that carries on with the snow coming down, and it looks like with folks out there driving on it, this could make for hazardous conditions. We're looking for slick and snowy roads. Even the interstates could be problematic. Here's the latest snowfall map for you. You can see where you live and see the anticipated snowfall. This is one of those situations where the mountains will likely end up with less snow than folks in the eastern Triad.
We have closings and delays continuously coming into the newsroom. You'll find those scrolling at the bottom of your screen. WXII 12 News is committed to keep you safe, especially when it comes to the weather. Here's a reminder to please slow down when driving. A WXII 12 News employee sent us this photo of an overturned pickup truck on Country Club Road at Vinegar Hill Road in Winston-Salem. We're told the streets are very slick in that area. Now, let's go back to Cameron Kent live in Greensboro, the latest on conditions there. Cam?
Thank you, Wanda. We have seen a lot of snow plows out here on Interstate 40. However, the plows are up. There's really nothing to push right now. As Laney mentioned, it's much more of a dry snow, kind of swirling around on the pavement, much like smoke. You'd do better with a broom than you would with a shovel right now. Not to say, though, that there aren't a lot of slick spots out there. The secondary roads certainly covered up more than the major thoroughfares, and so much caution is advised. Slow down. That's the best advice we can give you. Now, as Laney said, we're getting snow here, but the further east that you go, the more they are getting. And our Bill O'Neill is going to continue our live team coverage. He's in Burlington and Alamance County with an update on conditions there right now. Bill?
Yeah, we've had snow falling for about 2 hours now, but it has been very light. None of it is sticking. Come take a look. We have a bird's eye view of the interstate. We're just near Alamance Crossing in Burlington, overlooking the interstate, and you can see for yourself traffic is moving along at a very comfortable pace. The road actually looks very good from here, and we've seen no troubles whatsoever on the interstate through Alamance County. Now pull back a little bit. You can see how some of the snow is collecting on the side of the bridge that we're standing on. But you get here to the main cement here on the road, or even the roadway itself of the bridge, and there's really no trouble at all. It's a bit wet, but none of it is icy at this point in time. Traffic is having no troubles at all, but you can see the flurries continue, and I guess it's only a matter of time with this cold weather before it eventually creates some kind of a driving hazard as we work our way into the evening. I'm Bill O'Neill in Alamance County. I'll throw it back to you, Cam.
All right, thank you, Bill. So that's the situation in the eastern part of our viewing area. I'm live here in Greensboro, where it's pretty much the same story. Interstate 40 moving along nicely. Let's check in with Michelle Kennedy, our meteorologist who is standing by in Winston-Salem with the latest on the conditions there. Michelle, what are you seeing?
Yeah, you know, we are seeing a big slowdown here on Business 40, especially heading eastbound. You can see behind me here where we do have a slowdown. And it looks like the left lane is actually a little worse for wear when it comes to slush and some accumulating snow sitting there and kind of hanging out on the roadway. But we are seeing traffic on the westbound side moving pretty slowly. So this is likely associated also with some of the slowdowns due to construction that are up a little bit farther ahead on Business 40 East as you get closer to the Highway 52 interchange. So indeed slower traffic, and we have had some, you know, folks in town kind of spinning around out there on the roadways. It is slick. We are looking at salt on the roadways. I spoke with Assistant Director of Transportation Ryan Newcomb with City of Winston-Salem earlier, and he said that they have put out the salt on the roadways, but nothing else so far. And that really works as long as the road temperatures are about 20 degrees or, you know, a little bit more. But right now they're expecting things to really start to help melting things, but overnight there's a bigger concern that if there's anything left on the roadways that hasn't melted, they may have to push. And really, they only like to plow when you get about 2 inches of snow on the ground. So far, not so much, but we are, of course, starting to pile up some fine snow here. It is dry at this hour, and of course, we're going to have more for you coming up in just a little while. Very cold, I can tell you, out here, and that's what's unique about this situation. And Lainey will talk a little bit more about this too. Teens out here along with snow. We don't usually see it this cold, but it's a great setup to get some measurable snow, and it'll stick around for at least a couple of days once it's on the ground here. We'll have more for you coming up in a little bit from Winston-Salem.
All right, very good. Thank you, Michelle. It has been snowing in Mount Airy pretty much all day long, and our David Janot is standing by live right now in the Granite City to bring us an update on the conditions there. What are you seeing in Surrey County tonight, David?
Oh my gosh, the cold weather and the snowfall is just taking over Mount Airy. Now I want you to take a look right behind me here. As you can see, this snow is everywhere, from the treetops, the rooftops, down to the ground. It's been snowing nonstop since this morning, and let me tell you, every single snowflake is sticking to the ground. So be careful when you're out walking or driving in these conditions. My photographer and I actually witnessed an elderly man slip and fall. He is doing okay, but that just goes to show you how dangerous these snowy conditions are. Now we also did see salt trucks driving up and down Mayberry and Mount Airy here, and they were sprinkling snow all over the place, making sure that it doesn't get too slick. Now much of the problems here were in Surrey County, where the school actually called off, had an early dismissal. And because of that, students are back home early, and when we got to town, we saw the school buses dropping them off, and we met with one student who was actually wearing shorts in this cold weather.
I'm kind of excited about the snow because from being in Ohio, I've been down here 3 years, so I haven't had much snow, so I'm just excited. I love the snow, it's awesome. Winter's my favorite season.
All right, now we just want to show you really quick here, we've got our WXII ruler. Put this ruler here in the snow. All right, as you can see, we've got it about an inch right here in Mount Airy, so it's a big deal. This is serious. These are serious conditions. When you're out here, you want to be careful. You want to bundle up and just be safe out on the roads. And I also want to mention that city offices here, this is a completely separate thing, but city offices will be open tomorrow at 10. Reporting live in Mount Airy, I'm David Janot. Back to you, Cam.
All right, thank you very much, David. Now, as Laney Pope mentioned earlier, this setup similar to last week, where the eastern part of North Carolina is going to be getting a lot worse than the western part. Those beach communities actually going to bear the brunt of this winter storm. Right now, Justin Smith from WECT has a look at the conditions along the coast. He's reporting tonight from Columbus County.
Well, Cameron, here in Whiteville, no snow yet, but it's been sleeting on and off since about mid-afternoon. Columbus County declaring a state of emergency and setting up a special command post to bring together the various agencies who will have to respond to calls for help as the weather here is expected to take a turn for the worse. In Whiteville, Justin Smith, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Justin. Once again, a check on traffic here along Interstate 40 in Greensboro. Moving along just fine right now, but conditions are expected to get worse as the night goes on. So if you don't have to drive, certainly stay at home and be safe. Right now, we're going to send it in to Chris Lee. He's in the traffic center. And Chris, I imagine you're seeing a lot on your cameras. Tell the folks what they need to watch out for this evening.
I'm definitely seeing a lot over here, Cam. We have a live look of 52 at Rams Drive. As you see, 52 is a parking lot. There's a new parking lot here in Winston-Salem, and you want to avoid that. I'm Chris Lee in the traffic center. Let's look at our traffic maps. There's slow traffic on 40, Business 40, and 52, 9 miles per hour on 40, 10 on 52, 11 on Business 40. And there's a closure in Greensboro. Lawndale Drive is closed at Cone Boulevard due to a serious accident. More updates in a few minutes.
And we have received tons of local photos of the snow many of you are seeing. This photo comes to us from Chris Andrews near King. Snow accumulating in her backyard and on the deck. And this local photo is from Mount Airy, where we just got the live report from David Janot. Caitlin Edwards giving us a glimpse of the snow-covered roads in that area. We want to see what you're seeing, keeping in mind your own safety, of course. Just see it, snap it, and send it to the local page of WXII12.com. And remember, when bad weather strikes, turn to the WXII12 mobile app on your smartphone. You can get the latest watches and warnings, plus interactive radar right in the palm of your hand. We are waiting to hear if winter weather played a role in a deadly accident today. Coming up, the latest we're learning from investigators.
I'm Cameron Kent, live in Greensboro, anchoring our winter weather team coverage, keeping you safe out there, and we'll let you know what the city of Greensboro is doing to keep some of our homeless neighbors safe.
Well, temperatures are in the teens and the snow is coming down. How much snow you'll see where you live. I'm going to bring you some of the snowfall totals, and we're going to talk about how much more is on the way coming up.
A lot of red and yellow on the map for Winston-Salem. Looks like Hulkamania is running wild here. I'll show you which areas are most slippery when we come right back.